Before Vietnam, before Iraq, America fought a brutal war no one talks about, a war so violent, so imperialistic, that it threatened to stain the nation's soul. Yet it's barely mentioned in school books. From 1899 to 1902, the United States waged a bloody campaign in the Philippines that left hundreds of thousands of civilians dead. This wasn't a war of defense. It was a war of conquest. A war that began after America promised freedom, only to become an occupying force. It was a genocide in all but name, and we're going to uncover it, act by act. Why the Philippines? In 1898, the US entered the Spanish-American War, branding it a fight to free Cuba. But it quickly became something else, a quest for global power. Spain, weakening and desperate, ceded Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines to the US under the Treaty of Paris for $20 million. But there was a catch: the Philippines had already declared independence. Emilio Aguinaldo, the revolutionary leader, believed the US had helped him defeat Spain as an ally. Instead, the US installed military governors. B-roll of 1898 war maps, letters from McKinley, Aguinaldo rallying his troops. It was betrayal, pure and simple. By February 1899, the Filipino-American War began. It wasn't a quick battle, it was a grinding, guerrilla-style war marked by overwhelming firepower, racism, and brutality. The conflict begins. The US underestimated Filipino resistance. Aguinaldo's forces knew the terrain, used ambushes, and drew American troops into months of jungle warfare. American newspapers called the Filipinos savages, and the war a civilizing mission. B-roll, soldiers wading through swamps, faded letters from troops calling Filipinos N*********S, and G-Ox, Q voiceover. This wasn't liberation. This was racial warfare. Over 100,000 US troops served. Guerrilla attacks led to severe retaliation. Entire villages were burned. Civilians suspected of helping guerrillas were tortured. The most infamous method? The water cure, a crude form of waterboarding. Troops forced liters of water into a person's stomach, then stomped on him to force it out. General Smith famously ordered his troops in summer, kill everyone over 10, he meant it. B-roll, historical drawings, dramatized reenactments, General Smith's court-martial transcript. Estimates suggest between 200,000 and 1 million civilians died from violence, starvation, or disease. Back home, some senators and journalists raised alarms. Mark Twain, a vocal critic, called it an imperial massacre. But the American public, fed pro-war propaganda, largely ignored it. The US declared victory in 1902. Aguinaldo was captured and forced to swear loyalty. The Philippines remained under American control until 1946. Twain's anti-imperial writings, newspaper headlines, early protests. What happens when a democracy becomes an empire, and refuses to look in the mirror? This war laid the foundation for American overseas military actions. The idea of spreading democracy through force started here, in forgotten villages soaked with blood. Today, the Philippines remembers. There are statues, poems, and oral histories. But in the US? Silence. Maybe because it's too uncomfortable. Or maybe because acknowledging it would force the nation to admit that it began the 20th century not as a liberator, but as a colonizer. Modern-day Manila, candles lit for the fallen. History doesn't disappear, it waits, quietly, to be remembered.